If you don't want to watch the whole review and you want a summary, here it is. If you want an Android phone and you don't care about a keyboard, this is the phone to get probably for the next 6 months, if not more. But regardless of what phone you decide you want, make sure you go into a store, feel it in your hands, and make sure it's going to work for you. Hello Internet. Today I'm going to talk to you about the Samsung Galaxy Nexus. Through the magic of Christmas, I've managed to obtain one for myself. I've had the phone for about 5 days now, but I thought I'd bring out the packaging to show you what that looks like. It's really nice and sleek. There's the barcode information on the bottom, but you've got an embossed Verizon and Galaxy Nexus on the box, and it's pretty classy. You slide it open, and inside it's got a red cardboard surrounding the phone. The accessories are right underneath. As for accessories the phone comes with, it comes with the standard kind of array. It comes with the standard manual, warranty information, and other stuff I haven't bothered to read. It also has a charger that it comes with. It looks a lot like an iPhone charger, but in this form factor it's kind of hard to not look something like that. It works really well. It charges quickly. I think that's about all there is to be said about a charger. It also comes with a set of earbuds. On the right hand side it has a little microphone and button. The button acts as a play-pause if you're listening to something. If you're in a call, it will mute and unmute your microphone. But we don't really care about the accessories, do we? What we all really want to hear about is this hunk of Korean plastic that I've got right here. As many other reviewers have noted, it's a very light phone. It's made of almost exclusively plastic, and so it feels a little weird in the hands if you've been handling an iPhone or something to that effect, which is made of metal and glass. The Samsung Galaxy Nexus LTE version is about 10 grams heavier than the iPhone, but in your hand it feels lighter because of how large it is. It's hard to talk about this phone without at least at some point getting into a conversation about Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich. Because I'm reviewing the phone and not the operating system, I'm going to try to avoid that, but I think I should talk about it at least briefly. Ice Cream Sandwich is a great step forward for Android. It's fast, it's responsive, and it fixes a lot of the issues that have been around with Android since the very beginning. While Ice Cream Sandwich isn't always entirely consistent between things, there's a clear effort there that Google is trying to make sure everything is a more unified experience within their operating system. When I've handed this phone to a number of people, almost all of them remarked on the crispness and quality of the screen. It's really saturated and it's beautiful. A lot of people worried about the pentile matrix that Samsung has chosen to use in this screen, but it doesn't matter. This screen is beautiful regardless of what screen technology is used behind it. The truth of the matter is the screen in this phone is gorgeous. The Galaxy Nexus is light, but it's not too light. When I took the phone out of the box, I actually spent a while looking for the battery because it felt so light that it couldn't have a battery installed. The truth is that it's just a very light phone, but it's not so light as to make me worry. As we look at the back, we can see there's some Verizon branding here, but Google has managed to keep Verizon's hands off the front of the phone, which is really the part you're going to be looking at. The back also has a sort of bumpy finish that Samsung calls Hyperskin. I find myself wishing that this was kind of a rubberized surface so it had a little bit more grip to it, but it works for the purposes and I haven't dropped my phone yet. One thing that's great about Android phones over the iPhone is that you can get them with removable batteries, and that's a really great selling point. The Galaxy Nexus also has a removable battery. Getting to it is easy, but a little bit unnerving. Samsung has chosen to use a series of clips on the inside of this back cover to hold it on, so removing it makes a terrible noise. There's a spot on the top here where one can put their fingernail in and pull down. All one has to do then is pull it off. We've got the LTE SIM card right here, so switching this out will allow you to switch phones easily. Compared to the European version, the LTE version's battery is larger in both terms of size and capacity. The battery accounts for about a third of the phone's total weight, so it's a big one. But this extra capacity is only 100 milliamp hours, which in the scheme of things is only about 5%. It's not very much. Putting the phone back together is also fairly simple. The battery pops in like this. There are clips on the bottom that slide here, and you press along the sides until all the snapping stops, and you're good. Let's talk about some of the other features. This phone only has 3 buttons. It's got the power button on the right hand side, and it's got the up and down volume buttons on the left hand side. The right side also has a 3-contact accessory dock. I don't think there are currently any accessories available in the US for this, but eventually we should see some. I find the power button to be in a very natural position regardless of which hand you're using. In your left hand, your index finger can easily press it like this. In your right hand, your thumb can press it. As is to be expected in a phone of this caliber, this phone features both a front and a back camera, which brings me to the one major problem with this phone. The camera sucks. Perhaps sucks is the wrong word. It underperforms compared to other phones in its price range, and the iPhone 4S especially. The iPhone 4S has shown us that phone cameras can actually be high quality and speedy. The Galaxy Nexus does take photos faster than the iPhone 4S, but you lose 3 megapixels and a lot of quality to boot. Samsung and Google should have put a better quality camera in their flagship phone. The speaker for speakerphone is on the back. It's adequately loud, but I have heard louder. The bottom of the phone features the micro USB port and the headphone jack. It also has the microphone. There are no ports on any other side of the phone. You may be wondering where the HDMI is. It's not been omitted. It's actually a feature called MHL. If you get the correct adapter cable, you can hook from the micro USB to a full TV and you'll have no problems. The essence of a review is, should I buy this thing? And I think if you're looking for an Android phone that doesn't have a keyboard, this is the one to get. This will be the one to get for quite a while to come because it will be the most supported. Android phones have a problem of not being updated after released. This is the Google phone. Google will update this one for years after it's been released. That, if nothing else, will make this the Android phone to have, because 2 years from now, when other Android phones are out of date, this one will still have a recent version of the software. A lot of people are wondering if they should get this instead of an iPhone. If the only consideration is you're going to be taking a lot of photos with your phone, you should get the iPhone every single time. The camera on the Galaxy Nexus doesn't compare to the camera in the iPhone 4S. Despite the camera not being as good, there are a lot of things in the Galaxy Nexus that are a lot better than the iPhone. I handed this phone to several iPhone users, and almost all of them remarked on the quality and the brightness and the colors of the screen. They were amazed that a screen on a phone could look that good. And that's coming from people who are using Retina displays. Somebody who had an iPhone 4S and said, wow, the screen is bigger than an iPhone, which is nice for a lot of things, but it's not so large as to be cumbersome. The note here is that I have very large hands, and so if you have small hands, you may find this to be hard to use. Depending on the size of your pockets, because it's so large, you may have trouble fitting it. But for me personally, my pockets are large enough to fit it, so compared to a thicker phone like my old one, it actually feels smaller in my pocket. So let's come back around to, should I buy this phone? If we're talking Galaxy Nexus versus iPhone, the only real answer is to go into a store and try both of them. They have different ways of working and they do different things well. As compared to other Android phones, if you need a keyboard on your phone, you should probably get the Droid 3 or the Droid 4, which is expected to come out soon. But if you're looking for a touchscreen Android phone, this phone is without a doubt the phone to get, especially on Verizon. It's light, it's slim, it's got a huge, beautiful screen. It takes pictures really fast, even if they're not as nice as the iPhone 4S, and it runs the latest version of Android, which isn't expected to come out on other phones until sometime in 2012. And assuming you turn off 4G, it's got battery life that'll easily last you through a day or more. Now, some problems with this phone, like I said, the battery life is great as long as you turn off 4G. If you leave 4G on, it sucks your battery like every other 4G device, but it's super fast. Thank you for watching my Samsung Galaxy Nexus review. Please check out more of my reviews, and have a good day.